UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast, here on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I'm your host for today, Justin, and joining me are my co-hosts, Chrissy and Brandon. So, earpiece, how are you doing today, Chrissy?
I am doing very well, thank you. Do you know what's funny is I do have the Bluetooth earpieces in, and I really can't believe that no one has merchandised an Uhura Bluetooth piece. How has that not happened? Just putting that out in the world. Okay. Anyway.
It's freaking huge.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
So, mustache, how are you? I know I can't see a mustache on you, but that's the best one I could find. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing there, short and slimy?
Oh, I'll take that as a compliment.
Are you Murph?
He's Murph.
Okay, hi Murph.
You should call this.
This
best
is
I
your
can do.
cousin. This is your cousin.
I have
This
a
is your
toy.
cousin.
We have
Okay.
other guests.
Well, yes, listeners, we do have other guests because we're going to be talking about Prodigy, and we will introduce them in a minute. But before we jump into our topic, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly our associate producer, David Willett. Listeners, we'd love to add your name to that list that I'm also on, and we can do that with your monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/UFPEarth. All right, so we do have some guests to introduce. So today, we have Brandon's daughters, Annika and Ezri. Annika, how are you? Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm good.
And
I have
we
a
have...
slime in my throat.
Oh, no.
As long as it's not a photon torpedo.
And and Ezri, welcome. You haven't been on the show before. How are you?
Hello. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't really like watching Prodigy that much, but I
You
wanted
don't?
to be in
I
a
should
podcast.
have said I had a bomb in my throat because Murph ate bombs.
Yeah. I thought you liked
So
Prodigy.
Ezri, yeah,
Not
tell
really.
us.
Oh,
Why
Not
don't
really
why
my
don't
style, but...
why don't you like it? And why, if you don't like it, are you wanting to talk about it?
Well, it's just I don't really like it watching like today. Like
well, you don't
I just
get a
like watching
schedule.
it once in a while.
Okay.
She doesn't
Okay.
like the commitment.
Okay, but what about the show? Like, do you have a favorite character?
Well,
Is
yeah,
it?
my favorite character is Murph, of
Yeah,
course.
me too.
Okay.
He's a big, slimy, ball-looking thing like this.
Yeah.
And he's indestructible.
He's
Yes,
very
he's very-
indestructible.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Bombs.
think Murph's
Grenades.
indestructible.
Yeah. I still don't know what Murph is. This is crazy. I can't
Murph
figure it out.
is a slime, but with a face and has a heart.
Yeah, but the creators of the show have said that Murph is like a deep cut reference to something in Star Trek, and I just cannot.
I don't
I've been
know what
trying
it
to
is.
think about
Yeah.
it. I just got no clue.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll talk more about Murph, but actually, let's just get started with talking about this episode, which is called, what is it called? Oh, Kobayashi. Yes, that's right. That's a familiar type name.
No, we're not talking about Discovery. We're talking about
No, this is Kobayashi, not Kobayashi Maru. That is
Oh.
a very similar episode, which apparently they didn't know. Anyway, whatever. So
Not to mention the book.
there are two books named Kobayashi Maru,
That's
actually.
correct, there is, yes. I was thinking of the TOS one.
TOS, and there's an
That
Enterprise
was
one.
an
Anyway,
Enterprise. All right.
so let's get back on course here. So let's start out with initial impressions of the episode. So Chrissy, earpiece. I'll stop that
No,
now.
it's all right.
So Chrissy, what were your kind of general impressions of this Prodigy episode coming off the mid-season break?
It did the cliffhanger thing where it started right off of the last one, and I really liked that. I liked that we have had some pieces of questions answered, and it looks like we're going to get more, and I'm very glad to see how that's going to turn out. I like that Gwyn actually seems to have a place now. Like, she feels like she has a place in all of this. She's not an outsider.
And she's not in the brig, which is
Yeah, well, that helps too. I have a place. I'm not in jail. And I really loved how I'm continuing to love how they are continuing to introduce stuff that we long-time lovers of Star Trek know and love, but the kids might not, and new viewers might not, and they're doing it in a way that's not annoying to people who know. So,
yeah. And the kids here are playing with a toy right now, which is fine.
It's Murph.
So Brandon, while they're doing that, what are your initial impressions of this episode?
I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. Both the A plot and the B plot were great. And, the C plot with Murph and Rock Talk was pretty cute there, so I thought. But I thought it was really good. I'm going to say my one negative thing right off the bat, and then my one question thing right off the bat, and then we'll just get into discussion. So my one negative thing is, while I loved seeing all the crew and whatnot, it was really pulled you out of the episode for the quality of the voices for the original ones. Yes. I know how they did it. I knew what was going on, but it really pulls you out when it sounded so different from Gates McFadden, who was freshly recorded for this, to be pulling people out of an episode.
Or even Odo, which, even though it was in the 90s, sounded pretty comparable. Yeah.
Right. And, I mean, Odo felt like an odd choice to me.
Yes.
Because he's not Starfleet. It's great to see Odo, but it felt like an odd choice.
Okay.
So, that's, those are my main things. Now, the one questionable thing that I was, a little bit was Dahl playing the orgasm game? I'm like,
I hadn't even thought about it that way. I just thought, that's cool. They pulled that from that TNG episode.
No.
Why do you think he was so awkward when they came in the room there? Because he just won the level.
Well, I hadn't thought about that, but I know how you go to those things quickly.
And Janeway was watching him because she's like, here, why don't you play the game? She knew what he was doing.
Well, she knows everything
that's going on the show.
That's going on the ship.
Trust it to Brandon to make this dirtier than I was thinking it was.
Well,
anyway,
you'll have to forgive me because I went to the same place. I'm like, wow, that's teenage boys right there. Okay.
I totally didn't go to that place. So, all right. Well, now let's see what the kids think.
Yeah.
So Ezri, for this episode, what did you think of it?
Well, I did like it.
Okay.
My favorite part of the show was actually Murph, he was going to explode, but he didn't. It was very funny.
It was.
Yeah.
It was and puffing up into a big ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was very funny.
Annika?
The thing I didn't like was that the machine was on, and I thought they dropped Murph out of the... I left Murph behind.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he, dropped out of the ship, and he was, in another universe, and he was like...
They didn't know what the holodeck was,
What is going on?
So... They're like, where's Murph and why is he not on the ship?
So you guys haven't seen the holodeck where it's just like a simulated world before? No?
Yeah. But now you understand, so it's just a computer program that creates an artificial environment, and that's where he was, right?
Yeah.
Why did the guy call him Piggy?
Why did which guy call who Piggy?
In the holograph thing, it called
Jankum or
Jankum Piggy.
Well, he's a Tellarite, so I don't remember that
they
line.
They look like pigs
a
little bit.
Yeah.
But Annika, did you like the episode?
Favorite one so far.
Favorite one so far. So
high praise.
Was it just Murph? Was it just Murph that made it a favorite, or was there something else you liked?
Just Murph.
Murph.
I did like the part where he was like again, and then the computer thing was 61th time, 180 time, 2000 and something time.
Yeah.
I didn't know he could super pinch.
That was good.
That was good too.
I can super pinch you. Roar.
Yeah, it won't work on your dad.
No.
They're trying, but it doesn't work that way. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some things in the episode. We've already talked about it a little bit, but Dahl and Jankum are just kind of seeing what the holodeck is like, and they're going through different programs, and they come across this Kobayashi Maru program, which is about testing Starfleet captains or people that want command and how they will do that. So Chrissie, what did you think about this whole part?
I thought that was a fun way to introduce to Dahl and the viewers the concept of the larger responsibilities that a Starfleet captain has. Because, if you're not if you're not used to thinking of the captain of a starship as being a Star Trek style captain of a starship, and maybe you're more used to somebody like Han Solo, who's on his own, and doesn't have to worry about other people. This
or lots of rules and regulations and stuff.
Yeah, this reorients it. So it's like, oh, okay, so there's more to this than just what I want to do. And I think that is a good message for everyone, no matter their age, but the younger you learn it, the better society will be, I think. Yeah.
Like, couldn't he just asked how to beat it, then just beat it the way...
Well, he did.
I don't think it would tell him. Well, at the end, he asks how it works, but I don't think he could say at the beginning, because I don't think it would give him the answer.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you girls there. So, like, this Kobayashi Maru test, you're not supposed to win the test.
I know.
Yeah,
it's
like
goal
testing your abilities of being a captain. Like, if you can, like, save a whole entire ship sinking, then you can probably save a whole entire spaceship.
Right, but that's the idea of the test, is that you won't win the test. So I wanted to ask you guys, how would you feel if you were in school and you were given a test that you weren't supposed to win? How would you feel about that? You weren't supposed to pass the test. How does that make you feel?
I mean,
confused, weird, I don't know.
Very, very
Why would they give us a
confused.
test that we're supposed to lose? I would give it all
Because
give it my all.
What they're looking at is, how do you handle that loss? How do you respond
like
when you
testing
lose?
Are you ready for this?
Are you ready for it? Because you can't always win when you're a captain, right?
That one's got a B. I was just like, meh.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's different than the tests you take in school, where there's supposed to be certain answers and you can pass it and you can learn things. This is more trying to see if you're ready for hard situations. Yeah. So Ezri, this test, this Kobayashi Maru test, is something that originally came from a Star Trek movie from a while ago and gets some references in other Star Trek. So I'm not sure, Ezri, what other Star Trek have you seen? You like Spock?
I realized Spock, and I'm like,
Yep.
this gonna get good.
Sorry, what was that question again, Justin?
Oh, what other Star Trek has Ezri seen?
Ezri hasn't seen much Star Trek.
Not much. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't watched much together, so.
But I do know about the Klingon, Spock, and the Force be with you thing.
She
You
doesn't
mean
know
the
what
long
to
and
do.
Prosper.
Force.
May the force be with you.
Yes. There we
Having
go.
a moment like one of those memes.
Okay.
Doing
So-
it. I never did them.
Yeah, you
We
can
watched
do
The
the symbol.
Mandalorian, so we watch a bit
Good.
more Star Wars than we do Star Trek. But.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So okay, but this test, you guys hadn't heard of this before, right? This Kobayashi Maru test.
No, they haven't seen Star Trek 2.
No.
Aubrey has seen Star Trek 2.
Okay.
We actually had to self-quarantine back in the early days of COVID. We didn't know what was going on. We had to quarantine for a week until we got our answers, right? And so we watched a bunch of movies, and we watched that one.
Cool.
Okay. So this was something new. Like when you were watching the test before you knew that it was something that you couldn't win, what did you think about it?
What did you think about the test
Okay.
before you knew it was something you couldn't win? What did you think about watching all the tests over and over?
How bad of a captain is he?
I was actually thinking.
I mean, he hasn't had
like,
much training, guys. So
I was actually thinking, like, this test looks impossible. Like, the Klingons are going to, like, shoot you in the face every single second. Like, pew, 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 and blah, 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 whatever they say.
Wait a
I'm going to shoot you in the face 1,000 million times. There's nothing
Alright
that
then.
you're going to do to stop me. And maybe blah, 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 bad things are going to happen.
I just realized if he hadn't put his feet up, he would have.
he would have won.
What?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so what did you think of that? He actually found a solution before he put his feet up and made a mistake. So that was pretty
And then
smart.
he blew his ship up.
Yeah, they blew ship up.
Like, if he didn't do that, he would have won.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
which you're not supposed to be able to do.
I'm okay with that, right? Because, like, he took the test 100 and some times, right?
Yeah,
Like,
which most people
I've
wouldn't.
played Nintendo and been on a level where I can't win, and I just do it over and over and over
Oh,
until
yeah.
I finally
Until you
win,
win.
right?
Yeah.
So,
I could see
like,
that.
eventually you find a way around it. So,
It's a no-win scenario as long as you don't take it 100 times.
well, you're not supposed to take it 100 times, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
supposed to take it once, right? So
Maybe twice.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, I guess anything else on the test itself. You guys want to add?
Just like, so I don't know, like I guess instead of Odo, I think I would have liked to have seen somebody from Enterprise, because we've got Janeway, right?
Yeah, I could see that, but I really liked seeing Odo because, the actor who plays him, Rene Auberjonois, just passed away a couple years ago. So it was like I was getting him again. So I really liked that, even if, he's not in Starfleet, so maybe that doesn't make sense. But
so that was the only thing. Like, I obviously, yes, it was nice to see Odo. I love Odo. I love Deep Space Nine, but,
I'm really interested in the next episode. I might be in the next podcast with you because I'm really interested in the next episode, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened to Janeway? Is she real or did she die?
Well, the Janeway that we're with is a hologram, right? So she's inside the ship. And, I've been seeing online, I guess we'll jump to that right now.
Yeah, we'll jump to the end where Chakotay and Janeway are revealed, and Chakotay's captain of the ship somewhere in the past/future/ we don't know when.
For the Protostar. But, people are online, and I've seen this on Twitter. They're like, oh, yes, Janeway and Chakotay were together again. We're going to see some Janeway and Chakotay shipping. And I'm like,
I think it's a hologram that's there,
Are you not paying attention? That is also the hologram of Janeway.
I agree.
Right? So unless you want Chakotay married to a hologram Janeway, then go ahead,
it's possible. It's Star Trek, right?
Minuet.
But okay, so let's talk about that. Basically, it's revealed at the end after Gwyn unlocks some data that Chakotay's been the captain. I think there's something about an anomaly and something bad is happening, right? But I think it's connected to another part of the episode where you see the Diviner 17 years earlier, and he's been looking for the Protostar. So it seems to me, at least, that this ship launched sometime after Voyager returned and then had some time travel thing to go in the past. Is that what you guys are thinking?
Okay, so I got a question on this here for timeline. You're going to have to bear with me for a second, girls, while we nerd out about some Star Trek stuff. So just give us a second.
They're like, oh, God.
Okay, so 17 years earlier said Stardate 43929.9.
Yeah,
okay.
TNG Season 3.
So this is Stardate 510, right? So let's just leave it at that it's Stardate 51. So that's season 21 of Next Generation, hypothetically, right?
Wait, this is 17 years later, so this is Stardate 60 something.
6-1. So,
or 6-1.
So this is 21 years of Next Generation. So whereabouts is this taking place? So if this is season 21 of Next Gen, so Voyager was after 14 years. So this is 7 years after
Voyager returned 5 years before this.
Mm-hmm. Voyager returned about 5 years.
5 years.
It was 7 years before this.
No, it's 5. This isn't, because the showrunners have said this is in 2383. Voyager returned in 2378.
Yeah. This is before Lower Decks, right?
Lower Decks is 2380.
Oh, afterwards.
So Lower Decks is before Prodigy.
Okay.
I think this is fascinating that he's looking for this in season 4 of Next Generation. So we're going to be having some time travel coming up.
Oh, yeah, and it sounds like he's been looking for it for a while, so I think the Protostar probably went back into the past, 20 or 30 years or something like that, and has been around. But then, of course, what happened to Chakotay and his crew, and, is this... Yeah, so there's, all kinds of interesting stuff. Is it possible also that the ship hasn't actually launched yet? I thought about that.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Absolutely. I would say that where we are right now, the ship has not launched yet, I would say.
So
the ship could be launching even farther in the future.
Yeah, because it seems pretty futuristic. Okay.
It could be, too, that the Diviner is from the future. Because if they're the last of their species, he might have wanted a ship that could time travel to prevent whatever caused them
to go back to the past to find the thing, maybe?
Well, to
he's from the future.
If his species was wiped out by I don't know, a supernova or something, give a chance, give them a chance to get off the planet in that particular scenario.
Okay. Have we answered your nerdy question, Brandon?
No, we're gonna have to wait for more episodes.
I mean, we'll have to wait for more episodes. But it seems like what's happened is it went to the past at some point, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if next episode, the Protostar comes by with Captain Chakotay, and they're like, "Oh no, that thing's gonna go back to the past," and I don't know if they're going there, but that would be interesting.
What if they get back to Earth and they see them building the Protostar?
Yeah.
Like the trailers for JJ Trek?
Just be like Gwen's dad building the ship with a 3D printer.
Oh,
Starfleet would be building it.
Starfleet would be building it. But Ezri and Annika, like, what did you think of this? Did it like make sense, or was it really weird that this guy was looking for the ship so far in the past?
Well, see, I had to tell them about who Chakotay was, because like at the end of the episode we watched it, I'm like, do you know who that guy was? And I'm like, I knew they didn't. Right. And so I said, who is this guy? And they're like, well, I don't know. And so I told them, I'm like, okay, so Janeway the hologram that we've been watching was a captain on one of the Star Trek shows, and this man was her first officer at one point. Mm-hmm. And so he has become captain in the meantime, and then the ship has got lost in time, and we don't know where this captain and his crew is. Right, and so like the dynamic of this being Chakotay and Janeway is kind of lost on them because they haven't seen Voyager yet. So it's an interesting choice with how they're telling the story, because this story is really aiming at the fans and not. I think so,
but it introduces those characters. But Ezra, you had a question. You're raising your hand.
Yeah, I do have a question. If Gwen and her father were the only type left, why didn't they just like keep Gwen in like a prisoner's like place?
They tried to. Well, I mean, he tried to do that. She was basically imprisoned at the beginning of the show, right?
She hasn't seen every episode.
Oh. How many episodes have you seen, Ezri?
I think she's seen 3 now.
Okay. So. Yeah. So I think that gets answered earlier in the show.
So who are you wondering why didn't they put Gwen in jail? Who are you wondering didn't do that? Her dad or
her dad and the other people? Why didn't they just put her in a cage so she could make more types of them?
More clones.
Give her like food, like in a prison or something.
I think that it might be hard to make a clone.
Yeah, that would be a terrible way to live.
Yeah,
because the robot there, what's his name, General
Dreadnought. Yeah.
Right, didn't want to do it, right? Like he told Gwen's dad not to do the cloning.
So the other thing that might have been confusing was when that cloning happens, you see like this, embryo or whatever, and then you see Gwen at like what looks like 17 years old, like going up against. But that was meant to be like just looking to the future. She wasn't actually, at least the person who wrote the episode said she wasn't actually supposed to be like fully grown at that point.
Yeah, I didn't get that impression from the show.
Okay. I was a little confused at first, but she's a kind of a clone of her dad, right? Which is unexpected.
Yeah.
But he did say earlier she was created, so yeah. Ezri, what do you think about like this diviner, this guy like cloning a daughter? Do you think that's a good idea?
I don't know what cloning means.
Cloning is when you take the DNA of a person and you use science to make another one that's exactly the same.
This isn't exactly, but it's similar.
Right. Well, that's what cloning is exactly the same. That's what cloning is.
Exactly the same. So, but this is. I think
not exactly.
Not exactly the same, but it's similar.
Shouldn't she be like evil, like her dad, like evil and mean?
Is he evil though?
Yes, he's evil and mean.
You think he's a bad guy? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I think that Gwen has like talents that were like given to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Like the ability to do the languages and whatnot. I'm wondering if her dad has those abilities. I would guess not. If the diviner doesn't have those abilities.
Yeah, and they specifically say he's growing weaker, so he has some illness and he's afraid of dying and wants, I think, Gwen to carry on with this looking for the protostar, which is interesting.
But maybe giving Gwen these talents has made her more empathetic and nicer.
Could
than
be
her dad.
I mean, but clearly, I think her DNA must be different in some way because she doesn't look exactly like him.
The science that how they made Gwen, I think like it was messed up.
Maybe.
You mean it didn't work like it should have?
Because she's supposed to be evil.
Oh, messed up as in like it was broken down, not like messed up as in like, man, that's messed up.
Kind of both, but yeah.
So, okay. Annika, like, what did you think? Was it a good idea for him to create a daughter?
We'll say, yes, it's a good idea, because if he didn't make her, then we wouldn't have found Chakotay.
That's true.
That's the hologram that we saw at the end. Because we needed her to find that. Then we wouldn't have a show.
Wouldn't have a show without Gwen, really. I wanted to point out something else, because there is something interesting in what the diviner is saying about something we cannot defy the order. And if my species dies with me, what of the order then? Chrissy, what did you think about that?
Yeah, when he was talking about it, I was just like, well, I was trying to remember if it had been mentioned before, and I don't think it has. So. And then it was like, okay, so this is obviously either, I shouldn't say obviously, this is somebody, an organization that is maybe wants them to be the last of their species, wants him to be the last of the species. And, why do they care? Is the species artificial to start with, maybe? Did they create them in the first place? So, I don't know. I think they're going to be quite powerful, though, whoever they are.
Yeah. It's a good point. It could be some organization or species. What did you think about this, about the order, Brandon?
So I think it's clear that if we got General Grievous here, and the Diviner's basically Palpatine, so this is clearly Order 66. Okay? So they gotta kill all the Jedi. You kill all the Jedi. So
this is not computing on this podcast.
That's to say I don't know. So
you don't know. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out more. It was just something interesting to drop.
It's probably just the Obsidian Order. It's fine.
Could be that
order.
The Obsidian Order. Let me ask Annika and answer your question here. So, girls, what was your favorite part of the episode today?
Murph exploding.
Murph exploding was your favorite part?
I think we should just talk about Murph for the rest of the episode, actually.
Or,
yeah, we should.
Or, I can't decide of Murph going to explode, but not actually. Or how the computer said 61th time, 120th time, 10,000 and something times.
Well, it wasn't that many. But I will say that when Murph farted, the kids all laughed pretty hard.
Yeah. I laughed too. I thought it was funny. So now...
That was actually my favorite part.
Yeah.
Murph farting.
So now we know that Murph seems like he's pretty indestructible. Like, this explosion doesn't really affect him much. Do you guys think that...
Maybe the explosion gave him the toots.
It could be, but
no, I think it was because he was eating the bomb.
So what? Okay, what about this? What if Murph could be stretched into like a shield around the ship if weapons can't hurt him?
Good idea.
Yeah. I will take credit for it. Somebody else mentioned that, but yeah, what if Murph could be like a shield?
They'll have to get like on land to like. And I don't think he can stretch that far.
I don't know if he can breathe in space.
He's a human stretchy ball.
Yeah, he's stretchy. Wait, is he the only blob of his kind?
Well, we don't know. They told us that it's
I mean,
he's just a little tiny... What if when he was a baby, he was one little tiny speck?
It could be. I mean, we don't even understand what he's saying.
Ginormous Murph.
Yeah. I think if we... Ezri and Annika, I think if we want to make you happy, Murph should be like everything next episode. Like the whole plot.
He should be everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Murph memes.
I thought so.
Murph.
But there was one thing I wanted to mention, which is there was like a little scene between Zero and Gwen where Zero was like helping her with, making sure her leg was healed and all that. But he talked about being part of a Medusan hive mind. And I was trying to remember, Chrissy, is this something we knew about Medusans before? I'm not sure if it is.
So I don't recall the discussion of a Medusan hive mind in the past, but it kind of makes sense from what we know about them. That they would have that kind of interconnectedness. Because if they are just energy moving around, then they'd be able to interact that way.
Okay. Brandon, what did you think about that?
I don't know about a hive mind, because, we haven't talked about that. Like, when somebody says hive mind, we think the Borg.
I think of Borg, right? Yeah.
Right? But, I guess that if these Medusans have, this deeper understanding connection with the universe, which makes them good navigators, I guess that can be an extension of it, so I'm fine with it.
It could be something like the Founders, too, like the Great Link, but not evil.
Yeah. I also think of, this is from the books, but like the Tholians in books sometimes have had like this hive mind kind of characteristic. Yeah. Chrissy, let me just ask this. Other things in the episode you wanted to point out?
Yeah, I just, going back to the thing of Dahl trying to figure out the Kobayashi Maru, this really gives us a good insight into who he is, because you can tell that he has never had to deal with a situation where he had to be concerned about what other people needed. And on top of that, he has been conditioned, I would bet, his whole life to make sure that whatever he needed was put first, because if he didn't do that, then his basic needs wouldn't be met, much less anything else. So I think we got a lot of insight into him for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so Brandon, any other things?
No, I think that's good. I think we've covered it here. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we let you go, you girls? Anything else you want to say?
If you don't like Murph, shame on you.
Hey!
We love Murph. I think everybody loves Murph.
Yeah,
Okay,
everybody
guys.
loves Murph.
That's okay.
Yep.
If I was in space and I was one of them, I would have a pet Murph.
You would have a pet.
Yes,
Murph.
I would collect all the Murphs ever.
I will collect all the Murphs.
If I had to travel to
make a
many
household of
single
Murphs.
universes to find one single Murph, I would do it.
Brandon, I think you
Yes,
need to buy
Donald.
some Murph plush toys for them.
I'll
do
see
it.
if I can find some. So.
Do it.
Well, thanks for joining us,
yeah.
girls.
Thank
Make
you.
one. They don't exist.
Thanks, and we'll watch again next week, okay?
Yeah. So, before we're done, because Brandon had mentioned, and I agreed, that the voices of the crew kind of pulled me out of it because of the way it sounded different. And I know...
You know what's funny is it didn't pull me out of it until they got to the TNG era and the Kelvin movies, because when it was just the TOS stuff, I was like, okay, I can understand this. And in the context, like in universe, you could think like, well, the things that they recorded in the 23rd century have a different sound quality than the things later, but like it became more obvious when it was clearly like an older Leonard Nimoy speaking them. But
yeah, because he sounded
go
the
ahead.
clearest when he was with the "You Remind Me of a Captain of the Enterprise I Once Knew," because that was the most
TNG.
recent piece. But
well, no, the most recent piece actually came from 2009 when he says "Live long
You're
and
right,
prosper."
right.
That's from 2009.
oh, excuse me. Okay, I didn't go look for the list. I just
I
made an
only know
assumption.
that because Trek Core had like the entire list. They
Cool,
found it.
all right.
But anyway.
Well, I just
But yeah, it's an interesting. Sorry, one more thing. I think it's an interesting choice, and for us, because we're familiar with it, it takes us out of it. But I was reading, I think Jen Tift had a review with Trekcore, and she said her kids didn't even notice. Like, it wasn't a thing for them. But for us, it is, because we listen for those things. I don't know.
then that might be. We know too much going into it. So
I mean, clearly,
Yeah.
Brandon's
And
kids
it's-
only
it's-
cared about Murph.
It's not like I didn't enjoy
Oh,
it. I
God,
loved
yeah.
seeing
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
right? It was wonderful to see them, right? It was fun. I mean, I would, like I said, I mean, I love Odo, but I would have loved to see a different character for Starfleet, but that's just me and my, like, this is a Starfleet
I think
test.
it was based on like the audio that was available for what they wanted to write, because I
Well,
was
yeah.
reading an
Probably.
interview with Aaron Waltke that wrote it, and I think he said he watched like 90 different episodes and went through like 50 different scripts. So he's like looking for stuff that would work with the story he
Specific
wanted,
stuff.
and that's maybe Odo's lines worked more than, someone else's or something.
But I mean, like, at that point, get Mayweather, right? Get Anthony Montgomery to come on and do a voice
Sure, yeah.
just for a couple lines, right? Get somebody that's alive to still do a voice or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
because it was wonderful to have Gates McFadden do new Beverly Crusher lines. I love that. Like, oh, this is great, Yeah. If you could have gotten people that were all still alive. But I think they're also wanting to introduce them to certain characters like Spock. So.
oh well, yeah. And I did like.
so then get Ethan Peck.
Yeah,
No.
I agree with them on not getting Ethan
too.
Peck to do new lines, actually.
too.
Yeah.
Get Ethan Peck, and I don't know the actress's name that plays Uhura on Strange New Worlds. I don't know, but But
So good.
I that's all. It's like what that's nitpicking.
Okay.
I loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
no, it was cool.
Okay, it was a lot of fun, and it's what a wonderful, fun episode. I love the show. This continues to be my favorite of the Kurtzman-Harris Star Trek.
It was great. And, like, I think when I watched it the first time, I was like, wow, there's a lot going on here. And I rewatched it, like, you know, not a couple hours later because I was like, I really need to... Because I think I've loved this show, and I don't know what expectation I had, but they're packing a lot more into it. Like, this whole thing where there's, like, this... diviner looking for something, and this ship has new propulsion, and like they went back to the past. Like, it's a lot more involved than I thought it would be, and I'm just like, you know, bravo, that's great. But I do wonder sometimes if kids might get a little confused with too much going on in the episode, but I don't know. I mean, it was hard to tell, Brandon, because your daughters were like, Murph, Murph, Murph.
Murph, Murph, Murph. Yeah.
It's okay, though.
But it's so interesting that they've created this character that they can really latch onto, and like, I want to talk about this a lot. So
I wish I had a microphone recording when Murph farted, and just listening to the kids' laughter was just glorious. It was just wonderful.
Was it all three of them watching it at the same time?
No, we watched it the other night with Annika and Aubrey, like on Thursday, and then we watched it today again to prepare with just Ezri and Annika.
Okay.
And I think Aubrey didn't want to watch it again because she knew she wasn't going to be on the podcast. Because I don't have enough room here. So I told Aubrey, I'm like, Ezri wants to be here tonight. I just don't have room for four of us to sit beside my computer here. So,
understand.
But it was, But it's always fun having them on and getting their perspective for sure. Anything else you want to talk about?
Chakotay. Like,
whoa. Well, I mean, we knew he was going to be on the show, but we didn't know
I did not expect
it
this early. Not this early. I was expecting like late season.
I'm
this
trying to remember.
awesome.
Didn't I think I predicted he would come in earlier than you thought, right?
You did.
Yeah. So
is this really him though? Can you say that we've actually seen him?
Yes.
Do you think it's like a false?
No, I mean it's a hologram.
Something in there.
Oh my goodness.
It's a Chakotay hologram captaining the ship?
No, what we see is a hologram of him captaining the ship. We haven't actually run into a live Chakotay.
So we have not run into...
Haven't.
So there's been no Janeway this season so far, is what you're saying.
I was trying to make a joke, and it totally went off the rails, so never mind.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You made a joke to fans, and now we're going to fight about this, Chrissy. Okay?
Robert Beltran has voiced some lines. Chakotay's in the house. Yeah. But I get what you're saying.
I wonder, in all seriousness, though, I do wonder if we're going to see non-holographic Chakotay, or if it's going to be all records of what was going on the ship.
I think at some point we'll see him. Yeah.
Maybe in a flashback or something, right? Like maybe a hologram Janeway will be like, oh, I remember.
There you go.
So.
Yeah. So I saw that and I was like, wow, okay, cool. Now I want to see the next. Oh, I can't see the next episode yet, but you know, we know there's going to be Chakotay, and then I think also I saw there were some comments about, because we've had a couple of other cast announcements. I don't remember all of them, but one of them was Jason Alexander as voicing a Starfleet character, which is cool. But I think those are characters that are not on the Protostar apparently. So there's like another ship that we're going to see. So like, I think there's a lot that's going to be going on. Anyway.
It'll all make sense after we see the last episode of the season.
Yeah, after we see episode 20, which we can't see till later this year.
Well, at this rate, probably 2025 by the time we see that one, if they keep putting these delays in between seasons.
I think it'll be later this year. Anyway, Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not being so amused by Murph's farting?
Well,
or are you amused by it?
As George Carlin said, you know, farts are shit without the mess, so... What's not funny about that? Maybe not. I don't know.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Well,
or as they said on
wins.
Shore Leave, like the more intelligent, the greater the need for play.
Oh, yes.
Right?
True.
Right, and therefore you find humor in the farts. Which is what I do too. I think I'm a very smart person, which is why I find
it is
humor.
funny, especially because usually it comes all of a sudden, like you're not expecting it, and then there it is. Yeah. But he like lifted his little back end, right? Which I thought was funny too.
Good
his
dog by a tree. Okay.
I have to say, like, it was really interesting to see Murph swallow something, and like he's kind of a little transparent, and you can see the stuff inside of him. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, where can people find you, Chrissy?
Right. So you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on the UFP network, and that's a twice weekly short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner Jason. And I'm happy to chat about our shows in the Federation Council Chambers on Facebook and on Twitter, where I am the Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessLivia. And if you follow me on Twitter, you will see tweets about Star Trek and history and leftist politics.
All right. And Brandon, where can people find you when you're not buying all the Murph merch for your daughters?
Well, you can find me trying to surf the web looking for the orgasm game. I'm trying to find that.
I mean, that's very on brand for what we know of you on this show, Brandon. But...
Also on Twitter at Brandon Matella. And you can find me on my podcasts, Franchise Fatigue, which covers movies, remakes, and sequels. And we shall be diving in, I think it's this week, we're jumping into our first episode on Scream. So be sure to check that out. As well as Good Evening, an Alfred Hitchcock podcast, where we are rapidly approaching the end of our episodic coverage of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. And we just had our episode on Psycho, which I think was a lot of fun. And then our next main movie will be The Birds, coming out at the start of February.
Good stuff.
All right.
Justin, where can people find you when you're not cloning yourself a daughter?
I don't like cloning. And I'm certainly not in the position that the diviner is, where there's one left of him. We've got, many billions of humans. I don't think we're in danger of going extinct.
So reaching into the future then, if you don't like cloning then, I guess your answer's going to be no to this. So reaching ahead into the future for our next episode,
yes,
where we talked a bit about it. So would you eat cloned meat?
Good question.
Don't think so, because I think you're talking about like cloning from an animal to make a new animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no.
Would you eat Dolly?
No. The sheep. Dolly's long dead by now. I think.
Dolly's probably dead now. So you're not going to eat Dolly.
The first animal ever cloned 30 years ago. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sure, I've had that in my freezer since 1997. Yeah.
It's a little bit of frost particles on the edge.
They
of
do
it
with
there,
the
but,
mammoths.
Still good.
It's fine.
Wow, I did not think I would be asked that today. Well, you can find me on Twitter, where I'm not talking about clone meat, but where I do tweet about nothing but Star Trek. I'm at TrekFan4747 on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook in our group, the Federation Council Chambers, where we talk about this and all UFP episodes. I hope you will join us there. Okay, so Brandon, tell us about the other shows on the network.
Join hosts Rhea Papageorgiou, Kevin Scharf, Amy Nelson, and Joe Keegan discussing all TNG all the time aboard the Galaxy class. Mark White and Amy Nelson discuss all Trek all the time on All Good Things. Who Wouldn't Want to Be a Kid Again? Join Chris Chibuzio, Patrick Devlin, and Casey Pettitt as they talk all things under the Disney umbrella with Mickey's Marvels. Take a stroll through Star City and discover all things that make Arrow Arrow with Lance Laster and Cavante Chillis on Always Hold On to Arrow. And dive into some cryptozoology with Ken Tripp and Zach Moore, discussing lighthearted and fun things in the cultural phenomenon of Bigfoot on Sasquatch.
All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning into Infinite Diversity. Thank you to our executive producers, Ken Tripp, Tony Robinson, Zach Moore, Brendan Shamatala. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Tony Robinson for the awesome show art. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and please subscribe. If you want to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at UFP Earth, or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the UFP podcasts in our Facebook group called the Federation Council Chambers, or you can email us at infinitediversity@ufp.earth. On the next episode, we'll be talking about the new Deep Space Nine novel, Revenant, with author Alex White. So until then, peace and long life. And no cloned meat.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.
Our class, we do tests like every little once in a while to test if we were paying attention in all the classes and stuff. and if we know how to do this. And if, we don't know how to do our work, the teacher calls us over to this place called the teacher table, and she just helps us. But I only got there a couple times.
There's nothing wrong with needing help. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I was at... Speaking of tests, when we were doing an earth test, it was flashing back to a field trip that we had in the summer, when it was nice out, and it asked us what the rock was that didn't come from Earth that we saw, and I'm like, I don't remember. Let's just say a random answer. I put kryptonite. I put kryptonite.
Well, that does not come from Earth, so you're right there.
I think it's sedimentary, but I didn't even go to the place, but I'm pretty sure it was sedimentary rock.
Don't get me started on rocks.
It was ironstone.
They'll tell you.
Don't get me started on rock talk, because I love rock.
Talk! Talk about rock talk, man.
Yeah.
He's actually my second favorite character.
Rock
What
talk?
if rock talk?
Rock Talk's my second favorite character.
What if when he grows up, what if when he grows up, he evolves and his rock type changes, into iron?
Is he a Pokemon? Or she?
Could be.
I think
Is she a
he's
Pokemon?
I think he's made out of ruby crystals.
Rock talk's a girl, hey?
Yeah. I believe that when he grows up, he's like a big, tall, spiky monster, but he's really friendly and he'll just, hey, want to play a game? I'm not going to hurt you, but I know what we'll look like. Let's just play a game with Murph, my good old buddy Murph.
So
that sweet, sweet little Murph. He's so cute. You can hug him, and he'll just fall to the ground because he's a pile of slime.
That sounds disgusting.
So
But he's cute.
So, but if you had somebody like Murph who couldn't be destroyed and you were on a ship, what would you use him for? Is this useful to protect the ship?
I can use him as my raft.
Your raft?
A raft?
I can drown his face and float away.
You don't want to drown Murph.
That's not terrible.
Wow.
Well, I can float away like he's a big log.
What's that, Annika?
If Murph could process the bombs, he would be able to shoot bombs from his beak.
Oh, maybe he could be like a weapon.
Murph.
I'm a human bomb cannon. I'm going to explode your face off with my Murph 3000.
That's right. I think you love Murph, but you want to drown him and use him as a raft and then use him as a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I carry him everywhere.
He might be the solution to our pollution problems. Just
bring him down to the planet. He could eat all the pollution on our planet. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just fart and it'll all be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what are those farts made out of? Is it toxic?
No.
No, the farts are made out of gloriness.
He could be like a tree where, they breathe
name
in the pollution and they fart out oxygen.
there you go.
Yeah.
His name? No, not his name. He will toot out petals.
Petals.
Petals?
Flower petals.
Flower petals.
Okay.
And then he'll cure the whole world.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin, before we go, if you did want to talk about something else, I mean, we could talk about the orgasm game again. Because that's a creepy addition to the episode, I think.
And I didn't even think of it. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
How could you not? That's the whole episode.
It's been a while since I've seen the episode because I thought of it as like, oh, that's the game that kind of takes over the ship. I didn't think about it on a deeper level. Whatever. Okay. It's fine. It's a joke for the adults.
Yes. Yes.